So I know it's only halfway through the year. I thought it'd be cool to show you guys some of the upgrades we've done this year that have really helped our business be more efficient. Just to name a few of the upgrades we've done so far, we were able to get a new manual press, which has 8 heads instead of like our typical 6. And what that does is it really allows us to print more colors and to also be able to keep different screens up longer depending on the runs. And so that was a really cool benefit. Another one we were able to do is actually implement a marketing department, which gives us a videographer, an in-house designer, social media manager, physical marketing, giving away products with a lot of our orders. So that's been a really big benefit for us to just be a little bit more present out there in that space. Hopefully we'll start seeing more of those efforts being paid off through more orders and just being, more out there. We were able to take our front office and actually we like cut out a section of a wall to make like another reception area. Not another one, just a new reception area. And we were able to add a receptionist there that can kind of help. And I say receptionist, but like there's so much more that goes with that job. She's doing like collections and pickups, taking payments, all those kinds of things, working on invoicing and also helping direct the calls. So that's been like a major improvement to the front office and the customer experience. So let's go! Okay, so we're gonna start here with one of the first major upgrades we're able to do to the shop this year, and it is actually our washout booth. So we took our existing washout booth, decided all the things we wanted to change about it, and figured out, oh my gosh, we have 2 people using the same booth, and they're always waiting on each other to use it because we only had 1 booth. So we decided to double that and create 2 separate booths. One booth is specifically for clean screens, so keeping a clean area. You're taking a screen that you just got off of the burner and you're washing it out. And so as you're developing that screen or that film, you really want to use a clean area with significant light. So we actually added a ton more LEDs. We actually use LEDs instead of fluorescent lights, created a whole place for it. It still needs a little bit of work that I think I can dial it in. I just need to get the metal folded and haven't had a ton of time recently, but it's working. That's usually the problem with me, is if something's working, I don't get around to it until it's kind of broken, which I need to work on. But I have the new clean one. And then on the opposite side of the wall, I have kind of our dirty washout booth. And that's where we do all of our reclaim. We also implemented another filtration system and enclosed them as well so that water isn't going everywhere, and kind of trapped all that to be able to flood into the right drain. So adding the drain, yeah, this was kind of like the hardest project for me personally, just from the labor. Building was fine, all that, but the concrete work was pretty rough. So yeah, that's the first one. All right, so this is a major improvement for us. We took our old polling station, which was like a bunch of tables on some sketchy legs that were like welded on, and they were kind of like rickety rackety, had a bunch of lifetime tables. Yeah, we were able to add the pallet racking, which gave us a lot of vertical storage, which was really nice. So we're able to put a lot of our stock items up there, which coincidentally made it easier for the puller to grab and access the stock items when we need to get those for orders. So we were also able to get our first like actual stairs, mobile stairs, which has been pretty fun for me and hopefully for them, and more safe. So yeah, this has been a mega upgrade. So we're super excited about implementing this so we can expand and continue to add these processes to make things really smooth. This room now is all packaging. So this was another major improvement that we were able to do. And what we ended up doing is actually just knocking out a wall right here to the left and kind of creating an opening where we can put pallets through. And that was kind of a huge thing for us because this room used to be for the direct-to-garment machine. And so we used to have our machine right here and do all of our heat pressing in here. And we found that there was some problems happening with our machine because the humidity wasn't just right. So let me show you what we did to improve that. All right, so this was actually one of the first improvements we did this year, and we added this entire room dedicated our direct-to-garment machine. The reason being is that we needed to keep certain humidity and temperature levels, and where it was at before, which the room I was just barely in, doors were getting opened all the time, so the temperature would change, and obviously the humidity as well, because it's a very dry climate here, and we had to keep a humidifier going all the time, so every time we opened the door, it would lose that humidity, and it would just go up and down, up and down. So this room is sweet, so let's go check it out. Oh, it's beautiful. So This room is epic. We actually made it, like I was saying, for the humidifier to keep the humidity levels always correct. We also added even a little tiny wall heater. And with the direct garment machine, now we're not having like nearly the problems that we were having before, where the ink would dry out or the print heads would get clogged, the nozzles, and those things are really expensive, like $1,200 a pop. And yeah, so it's been really nice addition to where we can put in our, bring in our carts with all of the product on them, print the product, and then also we can have a heat press in here eventually where we can dry the product and cure it and then have it be finished all in one room. So that's a huge upgrade for us. All right, so this was actually a huge humbling experience for me, but we found out that we were using the wrong process for our films. We were actually using some vellum, which was shrinking under our printer. So it was shrinking our vellum. So then we found out about this thing called inkjet printing, which is not new, but we're like 30 years late to the game. Anyway, we switched to using film, which now does not shrink, and we can create better halftones, and we invested into this new printer, and eventually we'll be able to go to the next process, which will be direct to screen, or in our case, we'll be using laser to screen. But right now, this has been a huge improvement. We've been using the same printer since like 1998. So yeah, this is a big improvement. Super excited. Like all of these improvements are for the business. I know that you have to spend money to make some, and that's also not true always, but most of the time you really got to put in a little bit of investment, whether it be time, money, whatever it is, you kind of have to do it in order to get somewhere. How much time are we spending doing A, B, or C to get to D, where can we eliminate some of those steps? Anyway, with all these things, you really got to look at the ROI, so return on investment. Like even a simple button of emailing a person directly rather than copying their email, go find them in our, system in Google or wherever. That already saves, 10 seconds, and then you times it by each person every day, and you can kind of start seeing the cost of that and how you can improve that. Obviously, a lot of these things won't really help in your particular business, but the idea does. So looking at where are my bottlenecks, what things are really slowing us down, and how can I improve them, and what are some of the actual like tangible things I can invest in to help speed that up. I do know of a ton of things already in my head that I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice if I had this, or a bigger building, or like a new LTS system or this ink system all implemented right now. But that's like, if I had like 500 grand, yeah, that'd be no brainer. But I don't have that to just like throw at it. So we're trying to do things right, but also keeping in mind a budget so that we can actually stay profitable. Obviously, I didn't do all of this alone. I had a ton of help. Also for the ideas, like the management team, I had, warehouse manager, I had my brother in here helping me. Honestly, like all of Badger was helping me figure this out. And we still have a lot more to do. So there's still a long list for things that we want to do this year, and also for next year, and also our dream list, or wish list, Badger wish list, something like that. Anyway, thanks for riding along and seeing kind of what we're up to. Thanks for watching. Bye.